What's up, guys? How's it going? It is Matt here. So today we're actually going to be talking about something that actually a lot of firearms instructors talk about out there, a lot of YouTube instructors talk about out there. There's a couple of varying opinions on actual stance. Does your stance affect your shooting technique? Now, there's two main stances for carrying a pistol. Most people that watch this channel, you know that there's going to be two basic stances for carrying a pistol or for shooting a pistol. So the pistol I'll be using to demonstrate is my M&P40. It is 100% cleared, okay? So there's two main stances. There's isosceles and there's Weaver, okay? So we'll get started here. So isosceles is the most common stance you see most tactical firearms instructors, tactical firearms instructors preaching this. You see a lot of people actually preaching this in general. It is the isosceles stance, which is simply you coming up, your arms are both out, and you put your hands behind the pistol, okay? That's the standard isosceles stance. Then there is the Weaver stance. No, it's pushing a little toy around here. So this is pointing in a safe direction, guys. Don't worry about it, okay? So then you have the Weaver stance, which some instructors actually teach. Some YouTubers teach this. Actually, some decent YouTubers teach this. But the isosceles, people say this is the ridiculous stance that people use. Okay, so here it is. So this is the Weaver. So like I said, this is isosceles. Weaver is this, okay? That is the Weaver stance. Now, they're definitely different. You can tell a big difference with the stance. Now, a lot of people, the isosceles instructors, will tell you that the only way to shoot is the isosceles. Some instructors will tell you no matter what you do, you have to shoot from isosceles, and even if you're moving to the sides, you use the isosceles position. And your footing doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where your feet are. It doesn't matter where anything is. As long as you are holding the pistol like this and you're shooting, then you are in a good stance. That's what they will teach. Now, I've had issues with both stances, okay? I've had issues with both stances. But through my entire years, through the Marine Corps all the way up to about a year ago, the only stance I've ever used was the isosceles stance. It allows you to get your body behind the pistol. It has better recoil management, or has really good recoil management when you put your weight inside the pistol. You know, it's a good stance. But on the same note, I've gone to ranges where I see people do their version. These guys are all dressed in tactical clothing, all right? I've seen other people do their version of isosceles, which is kind of like this thing, and they're trying to be all tactical, and they have their shoulders back, and they have like a 9mm, like a Glock 17 or a Beretta, and they have zero recoil management whatsoever. They just can't manage the recoil of a pistol. If it was a 22, it would look like a 9mm, the way how they hold their stance. So stance is big when it comes to actual recoil management. But I've been having issues with my actual stance. Now, the summer of 2016, my son had gotten a toy stuck on a garage roof at my parents' house. So, being the good dad I am, I climb up the roof, I get it off, I pull the toy off, and then coming down, the ladder sinks into the ground, I fall 8 feet, and my wrist stops my fall, and I broke my wrist in 3 places. I broke it over here, right back, this entire section right over here. I broke it up in here, and I had a little shard that was hanging out somewhere over here. So, I had a pretty serious injury, and you know, I'm left eye dominant, but I shoot my pistol right-handed. Now in the Marine Corps, I always shot left-handed. I was trained to shoot a rifle left-handed specifically because I'm left eye dominant. So over the past few years, I got out of the Marine Corps in 2006, I've pretty much become an ambidextrous shooter. I shoot a rifle better left-handed, but I can shoot it just fine right-handed. I shoot a pistol better right-handed, but I can shoot it just fine left-handed. So I kind of go back and forth. If you ever see me in a full kit, which you'll probably never really don't see very often, is usually in a full kit, my rifle, or if I have a rifle or a shotgun, is always going to be on my left, and my drop holster will be on my right. Personally, I think it's great for transitions. I think it makes quicker transitions, but some people may disagree with me. But basically what I'm saying, guys, is I'm a right-handed dude, but I shoot with my left eye. But what happened is after I broke my wrist, I was out for a while, probably about I'm gonna say 8 to 10 weeks I was out. It was a long recovery. It was just a pain in the butt. And even since then, it's been over a year since I did that. My wrist still feels funky sometimes. Now, what I've been noticing the last year since I've been through the recovery and everything else is when I go to the range, most of the time when I'm shooting, I'm in the isosceles stance. Okay, I'm always shooting in the isosceles stance. But my point of aim, I have to hold the pistol. I have to sight in a little bit differently, and for some reason, when I'm in the stance, it's very uncomfortable for my wrist. It almost feels like my wrist is constantly resisting the angles the usual angles that I'm on. So that tells me that my wrist was broken at some point and it healed in kind of a funky way that I'm not used to. So what I'm going to start doing, I've been doing this the last couple weeks in dry fire practice because it's gotten to a point where it's very uncomfortable for me to shoot accurately and have good marksmanship. Now my sight picture, sight alignment, my trigger control, all that stuff's good, but no matter what I do, I'm struggling to keep the pistol into place because it almost feels like there's a resistance in my wrist, and for obvious reasons. So what I've started to do in the last couple weeks is I've been practicing with the Weaver stance. Now I watched Paul Harrell. I think Paul Harrell. If you guys follow if there's one person that you should definitely be following for gun channels, it should be Paul Harrell, okay? This guy gives real back-to-back ballistic tests, 9mm versus 357 Magnum, all this stuff. He does all the stuff, all the answers, and he comes with a factual answer and a real down-to-earth answer. He's a really down-to-earth guy, smart guy, really smart guy. He knows guns. He's a smart guy to follow. You should probably go check him out. Actually, leave a link below to his actual page so you can actually go watch his stuff. A great guy to follow, just an awesome guy to follow. Like I said, down-to-earth, smart guy. Now, he always shoots with a Weaver stance. When I see people in the Weaver stance, it always kind of looked kind of funky to me. It just always looked funky to me seeing people in the Weaver stance. But I noticed when I watched Paul doing it, he has a really solid base, and his marksmanship is dead on. He's a damn good shot, okay? So for the last couple of weeks, I've been actually dry fire practicing with the Weaver stance. Every time I dry fire practice, I've been going to the Weaver stance. And I've learned something out of it. When it comes to my wrist, I don't feel the resistance as much as I was over the isosceles stance, as where I have been in the last year. I don't feel that resistance anymore when I use the Weaver stance. But I have to adjust my wrist just a little bit, and I can't do it very well with the isosceles, okay? So basically what I do is, like I said, this is the isosceles. Once again, my pistol's pointed in a safe direction. This is isosceles, all right? So you just set it up, you're doing the isosceles stance. Now, when you're doing the Weaver, your body is shifted a little bit, your arm is solid like this, and your foot it's pretty much toe to heel, and you're looking down the sights. Now, what I do is I cant it, the pistol, a little bit like this. I know some people will call me out for doing this, but when I do this, I have zero resistance on my wrist, and it feels very, very comfortable to me. And shooting isn't necessarily always about comfort, but when I'm over here in any position where I'm isosceles, especially isosceles, I feel it a lot in isosceles. What I'm doing, I actually have to adjust my wrist like this to get my sight picture. I think it's just because of the way how my wrist actually healed. It healed kind of funky. I try to adjust my grip, and then I can't get a good grip on the pistol, so I have to have a solid grip on the pistol. But I have to cant it, and my marksmanship has been taking a little bit of a hit. But when I go to the Weaver, and I have that slight shift, the slight angle, as you see, there's a slight angle on that, I have no resistance, and because of it, I have better trigger control. I have a lot less movement on the front sight tip than I was prior. Now, I've been shooting for a long time, and I've never, ever had issues with isosceles until I broke my wrist, and I recovered. So it's a good position. It's a great position to use. It's great for recoil management. It's great for everything that's out there. But sometimes you gotta learn new ways to shoot to actually adjust to your body. We have the saying in the Marine Corps, adapt and overcome, right? Adapt and overcome. So from now on, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm going to probably be shooting from a Weaver stance, my modified Weaver with my wrist slightly bent. Now some people say, why don't you just shoot left-handed? I can shoot left-handed, but 90% of the time when I'm holding my son in the left hand, and my right hand is free. Naturally, when I've been right-handed my whole life, so when I naturally respond to anything in defense, it's always my right hand. So out of habit and in general, I just carry my son on the left hand, so I have a free hand that I can actually do stuff. So I always shoot right-handed. I've always shot pistol right-handed. I enjoy shooting pistol right-handed. I can shoot it decently left-handed, but I shoot a pistol better right-handed. My response to the question, does stance matter? Yes, absolutely. The stance absolutely does matter. If you have a bad stance, you are going to have or your marksmanship isn't going to be the best. You won't be able to line up the pistol front sights as well. Some people will disagree with me. Go ahead. Feel free to disagree with me. But from my personal experience, the stance relately goes to your fundamentals. You have to have a good natural point of aim in order to shoot. Natural point of aim, I've talked about that the other day in my video. You have to have a good natural point of aim in order to shoot. What that means is basically when you're lining up and you close your eyes, you take a breath, you open it up, the sights are lined up the right way. Now, like I said, is like when I've been carrying this from the isosceles after I broke my list. I literally it's so much resistance to it that I have to shift my pistol a little bit, and it's not a natural point of aim anymore. It just isn't. So when I adjust to the Weaver stance, I have a much better natural point of aim now. So yes, stance does matter when it comes to marksmanship. Now, once again, guys, go check out Paul Harrell. He's a great guy to follow. He teaches a lot of stuff. He does a lot of good comparisons. There's a lot of questions and answers regarding debate between calibers. He answers them with real-world ballistics and actually does very thorough tests on it to actually prove or disprove the actual myths that are out there, which most of the stuff that's out and flying around the internet is pretty much myths. So go check him out. He'll do that type of stuff a lot. Anyway, guys, I hope you like the video. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about me, guys, and remember, it's our responsibility to take care of each other and protect each other. Peace.